as you'd like to be treated. We as Mexicans have always claimed we're not a racist country. That in that topic, we're much better than our neighbor, the United States. But is that really true? Do you really believe that? I don't. I mean, definitely, we're not as bad as the United States right now or they were before. For we've never asked having bathrooms, separate bathrooms, depending on the color of person. But we do treat people differently according to their skin color. So the purpose of this presentation is, first of all, for you to realize that we are a racist country and how we are, like what do we do. And second, when you know, like knowing that we are a racist country and the magnitude of it, what problems it causes to our society, and for you to finally accept it and start analyzing yourselves and analyze which actions do you do in a racist way so you can change them. Well, the reality, I mean, who haven't had a friend that has a darker skin and, I don't know, high school, you normally call him negro. I mean, we all did, basically. That's something racist. Yeah, of course, it's your friend, so you call him this as a nickname and there's nothing bad about it because he doesn't care and you're not, I mean, you're treating him perfect, like normally, like everyone else. The thing is that, I mean, and I've seen it, friends that have like darker skin or, I don't know, native origins, they also call someone else that has the same color negro, but they do it in a really bad way. They do it as an insult. For example, those two images. In Mexico, there's no racism. Said this, that word, naco. I mean, that's racism, but that's like showing it. Or the other one. The United States, like the Americans are racist. They, and the guy calls everyone or Indios or naco. That's something else we normally do when we're in the street. You see someone that has native origins or darker skin than you say that that person is an Indio or an Naco. For example, when someone's walking in the night alone, and you see someone that has native origins, darker skin, and it's not well dressed, the first thing that comes to your mind is that, okay, I need to walk faster because I'm in danger. That person, it's either illiterate, uneducated, or he wants to do something that like want to do harm to me. That's something that we normally think about people. 16% in Mexico City accepts being discriminated, feeling discriminated because of color. That's just in Mexico City, versus only 5% of the population in Mexico City accepting having said or committing an act of racism or discrimination. That doesn't add up. I mean, of course, 16% or 5% of Mexico City, 22 million inhabitants, that's not possible. But when you see that 51% in Mexico City agrees that skin color affects how people are treated, you know that this is not true. This is probably just that we as Mexicans, we have always claimed that we're not racist. That means that, I mean, we only say that we're not because either we want to be a good person or just for religious reasons. But we actually commit. What's the problem? The problem is that if you are racist to someone else, it creates two main problems. First, personal one to the person you're being racist to, and the other is institutional. Personal, I mean, for you that you're being racist, there's basically nothing. But the other person creates a low self-esteem, especially when you are racist and when they're kids. So they grow up thinking their value is way less than someone else, thinking that someone with darker skin is not the same as someone as a Caucasian or with European traits, when actually it's the same. The problem with this is that at the end, they have less opportunities for developing correctly or having better jobs, just because psychologically they think they're worth less. They think they cannot achieve what everyone can. Then for the institutional, I mean, we are as bad that according to the Instituto Mexicano de Derechos Humanos y Democracia, the government does not recognize the existence of minorities. For example, the black community. The government says that there's none. I mean, there are really few, and in the north there are basically none. But in the south, Veracruz especially, there are black communities, and according to the government, it doesn't exist. The same institution claims that 78% of the black community has not access for medical resources from the government. They just don't exist in paper or anything. Right? But 50% of people in Mexico feel that their rights are not respected due to scheme called discrimination. I mean, that's a number that probably way higher. But if people think and feel discriminated just for the color, I mean, we've all seen that when someone, especially someone with money or white, for example, crashes or I don't know, gets in trouble, basically at the next day, everyone forgets about it and they're not in jail. But if a person that has a darker skin steals a piece of bread because his family is too hungry, well, there's the whole force of the law. They go to prison for 5-6 years and they only stole a piece of bread. That's a reality in Mexico. Another thing that the government does is that there's few or no investment in areas where natives live. That's not just, I mean, the government invests a lot in urban areas. Yeah, there's people, white people and brown people in urban areas. Yeah, but in rural areas where the natives live, Mayans, Yaquis, everyone else, there's basically no investment. That's as an institution. That's the government. I mean, if the government and people think that, I mean, keep looking somewhere else, thinking that we are not racist, we're never gonna change. The problem with racism is that it not only affects a person. If you affect a person, and I mean, more than 50% of Mexico is with native origins. So if that person is multiplied by more than 50% of our population, and that population cannot achieve its goals and cannot develop themselves, well, Mexico will continue to be an undeveloped country with all the problems that we have. So I exhort you, I invite you to reflect on your actions, to really analyze everything you say, all your comments, to realize whenever you're saying something that it's really racist, and try to change it, for we need to be a better country.